This time on Movie Reviews, we're going to be looking at Midsommar. Midsommar was directed by Aster and stars Florence, Pugh, Jack Reynor, and Poulter, and follows the story of a group of friends who visit Sweden and attend a festival that only occurs every 90 years, and soon they become a part of a pagan cult that is out to get them. Guys, I was really excited to finally sit down and see this movie, especially from all the buzz and the fact that it's an A24 film, which is a studio I admire a lot. And now, I know that's an unpopular opinion with most movie-going audiences. Many people just do not like this studio, and I can understand many of the films that come out are unconventional from films that we typically see. And every now and then, I just get tired of seeing just blockbuster after blockbuster of movies that are so similar in plotting and execution that I just like seeing something that's fresh, new, and unique with a different voice altogether. And I often get that with A24 films because it's a bunch of independent people working on a film just expressing themselves, and that's what I love about these films, and particularly when it comes to their horror films, such as The Witch and Hereditary, which Ari Aster directed last year. And I was really excited to finally sit down and see what his second film would be like. And I left this movie really excited to talk about this, and really enjoying this film overall. Now, the best thing about this film is going to be the direction of Ari Aster. He is a person of craft. He does an excellent job in this film just with the direction. His cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. This film looks like one of the best films of the year so far. This is a fantastically looking film. It's beautiful to look at. It's like looking at a painting. Every scene in this film looks like it could be framed on a wall, and it looks gorgeous, especially when we're looking at scenes of people in fields of flowers or people in the beautiful costumes and dresses that are in this film. And it just looks so beautiful with just the lighting, and everything just comes together so well. The costuming, the direction of everything, the sets look amazing in this film and look so good. And the acting is really good too, specifically from Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh has yet to disappoint me with her acting ability. I first saw her in the movie Lady Macbeth, who I thought she did an excellent job in that film. And every film that I have seen with her since, she has always impressed me, even when the films themselves might not be as good, such as with the movie Outlaw King. She was still great in that, and she was great in this year's Fighting With My Family, which I thought was excellent, and she does an excellent job here, really delving into this character that has seen so much loss in her family and is dealing with so much that it was just really great to see, and she plays it beautifully. She plays very much a person that's on the verge of just being completely unstable, and she does the emotional bits so well in this film. She's so good, and she's one of my favorite parts of the film. She's great. The other actors are really good too. Jack Reynor, who honestly I've only seen him in Transformers: Age of Extinction. I thought he was really good in this film as her boyfriend that is kind of douchey. He's not the best boyfriend in the world, but I thought he did a great job in this film playing this particular character, and I thought it was really interesting. And stuff I loved in this film, besides the cinematography and everything, was the concept. I love the ideas of evil cults. We've seen this before in movies like Apostle or The Wicker Man, and I just find this type of horror just so interesting because Something about this movie that I like with its horror is it's so human and close to home. And nowadays, we just watch, horror movies like Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, The Conjuring, which are all these supernatural entities, these types of movies. And I get tired of that sometimes. And it was really unique and interesting seeing something from more closer to home, showing that human beings are evil too. And I really enjoyed that. Stuff with this movie when it comes to like the rituals are horrific to say the least, and that's something I want to go into that goes into these horrific scenes is the music in this film, which is done perfectly. It goes from just this choral music or just this light music that's just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful to listen to, and then it just completely changes into this darker, grimmer, just eerie soundtrack that just really works for the tension in these scenes. Most of these scenes involving that really bombastic and dark and gritty music really hit home for me during the more darker moments of the movie that I really don't want to get into because spoilers, but some of the stuff that's in this film is really grotesque, really violent, and just disturbing to say the least. It's really cool to see, and the music just works so well with this film in helping propel these scenes ahead. Now, in terms of stuff that I didn't particularly like with the film, there is one character that I just didn't care for at all, and that is Will Poulter's character, who is supposed to be kind of the comic relief of this movie, and he just kind of got annoying. I know that's kind of what his character is supposed to be, but it just kind of gets on your nerves. He tries to be funny. Nothing he says is funny. It's just really annoying, and I just really didn't grasp to that part of the film very much. Also, this film is rather slow, and for some people, that's not going to be a thing for them. Some people just don't like slow movies, and this is a particularly slow film with its pacing, of course. Like, we really don't really get into the meat of the film until about 40 minutes in, and the movie is about 2 hours and 20 minutes, and in ways, especially once you get near the end of the film, it does drag on a bit. However, I was still engrossed in what I was watching, and I was still interested from beginning to end, and it didn't bother me too much, but I did feel the length at times. Also, there's a moment in the film where there's this character that is shown in the trailer. It's this person that has like a grotesque looking face, which is this boy who's inbred. And they show him for a split second near the 40-minute mark of the film, and then they don't show him again, and then we see a character having a conversation with somebody talking about this character, but these characters have never met before, so it is very clear that there was something cut, and just the editing just didn't work right there, and that scene should have either been cut itself or they should have put a scene that was probably filmed back in just so that flowed a little better. But honestly, guys, that's most of my problems with the film. I thought this was a great film. I thought it was just a joy to watch, not in a I was enjoying myself kind of way. This film is very disturbing. It's very slow. It's methodical. In some ways, it is very much a symbolic film. The director has stated that he made this movie, or at least wrote the script, while he was going through a breakup. And you see many of that throughout the film. You see stuff like what he might have been going through and how that is installed into the film, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but I think this is still a fun film. The ending will get people talking. Whether you like the movie or not, that is completely up to you. But with a film like this that is so divisive, I think we need to look past if this movie's bad or if it's a masterpiece, and we need to look at individual things from these types of movies, such as directing, editing, cinematography, what the director was trying to do, instead of just going off and saying it's bad right from the start, because I think this is a very impressive film. It does have its problems, but I think it's an interesting film that does interesting ideas, even though sometimes it is doing a bit too much and has a bit too much in it. But I thought it was a interesting film. It was violent, it was dark, and it really was disturbing at times, with some great acting, some great direction, and a great soundtrack. Guys, I thought this was a really good film. It's not as good as Hereditary, I feel like. Hereditary was a very tightly made movie, and this one's just a little bit more looser, but I love the ideas that Ari Aster brought to the table with this film, and I'm of course excited for what his next film entails. I'm going to give Midsommar an 8 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. What did you think of Midsommar? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was okay? It's understandable if it's any of those things. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.